Hello, darlings. Oh, it's been too long. Gomenasai. Unfortunately, I know I said I'd do these videos every couple of weeks, but my schedule said no, and I'm also lazy as hell. So we are sitting outside today, as you can see, in order to enjoy the lovely afternoon spring breeze and the fact that my apartment is a filthy mess. What I decided to talk about today was jet life, or more to the point, what I do as an ALT. Because two of my friends have gotten into the jet program. Congratulations! And a lot of people have been asking questions like, so what is it that you do? Because I am an ALT, which is to say an assistant language teacher, which is sort of like any kind of assistant teacher really, but with a bit more work and a bit less responsibility. So first things first, timetable. Most schools will want you to show up somewhere around about 8:30, and most schools will let you leave between about 4 and 4:30. My contract, I show up at 8:25 and I am allowed to leave as of 10 past 4. Most of the time I stick to that schedule. However, one of the things that you will learn about Japanese society is that they're really big on overtime. So to leave your job at exactly on the time given is seen as quite disrespectful to the job. So most of the time I'll end up staying till about 4:45, maybe 4:30, thereabouts. Just doing that little bit of extra work and showing the fact that I do really like this job and I care about it, so I want to be here. Because that tends to be a way of expressing your appreciation for your job. Now, your schools, of course, will change a little bit depending, because one of the things you'll learn as a jet, or as an ALT full stop, is that every situation is different. Which means that no matter what you know, it's always different from someone else's. So just appreciate the fact that what I am telling you is not gospel, and you should not take it as such. Oh, Jesus Christ, I am the second coming. So, on to the next part, school types. Japanese senior high schools, at least, which is where I work in, tend to specialize in particular programs or areas of life. So there's technical schools like building and construction, there's agricultural schools, there's international schools, there's English-based schools, there's science-based schools, blah, blah, blah. Within those schools, they all have their own programs particular to what the school or region is special for. So my school has, its biggest one is its English program, then it also has a nursing and teaching program and a science program. Those are sort of the big four that they have in this area. So because it has an English program, the school's English level is overall quite high, I think. I'm pretty damn lucky in that sense, because you can get some schools where the English level is very low, and you will have to work around that. Personally, I don't think either which way these classes are that bad, depending on the English level. Obviously, it's easier to communicate your intentions, but that's why you then have team teaching, which is the core of ALT teaching. It's not just you in the classroom, it's also your Japanese teacher. So Japanese teacher is going to help you translate particular aspects of new activities that maybe they're struggling with, or vocabulary that they don't understand. And to be honest, they are lifesavers as much as they can be hurdles that you need to get through. I find that realistically what it comes down to is communication with your team teacher. If you're able to sit them down and have a good chat with them about what you want to do, it makes it that much easier for you both in the classroom. So, on to the next part there. The class types. So for the most part, the most common and the core part of, I think, any ALT teaching position is basically info classes. So what it is the school will have a textbook that they are using for their classes, and you will make activities and your lesson around that textbook's chapter that you're doing for that week. That tends to be the most common type of lesson that I cover. Personally, I find them to be a little bit dry, but they're also a really good opportunity to play some really fun games with the students and just get to know them better. Because at the end of the day, and this is probably the most good and bad point of being an ALT, you are fun. You are the toy for your kids. You are the thing that makes them enjoy English. So you're not a serious class, which, as far as discipline is concerned, can be a bit of a nightmare. But as far as being able to have your students really enjoy their time with you and get to know them, absolutely priceless. I do also have some more serious classes, like current affairs discussion classes and a debate class. I personally really love them because it's really interesting to get these kids to explain their thoughts on current issues in an environment where they feel very comfortable. Additionally, you will also have grammar classes, which can be dry as hell. They are really quite boring sometimes, but I love them for the mental gymnastics and the fact that I get to just, again, show the kids that English, as much of a scary language as it can be, is not an untamable beast. So I like to think both sides of the party enjoy that. Again, your school, depending on what level it is and what it has, will have very different types of classes. What else? Class activities. Again, it's a lot of games that you're playing for the more regular classes. We played everything from like people bingo when we're getting to know each other to, what else? What's some activities we do? Things like matching games, or like they have to talk to each other to find out things, discovering some kind of mystery in the class, lots of different options. The good thing is with most companies that have ALTs is they will have some kind of collection of activities that you can fall back on and use when you're developing your own particular teaching style. Also as well, you will have some where the activity works perfectly with one class and you're like, oh my god, this is brilliant, and then you go to the next one and the whole thing just goes and you're left to kind of like scavenge the pieces together. That's happened more than once. It's not fun, but it can be done. So I find having a little backup repertoire of like not hangman, celebrity heads, and categories will save your life. So I recommend having some of that. The other thing as well is extracurriculars. Your school, no matter what, will have some kind of English club, or if it doesn't have an English club yet, it's because you're going to make it. The English club, I think, again, is a really fun way to get to know your kids. You can have such a good time, and it's a good way to sort of like lighten the place up a bit for both you and for the students. They take their schoolwork very, very seriously, so club activities are a really important place for them to like blow off steam and just have a good time. And again, that's a lot of games that you play. We've had a couple of like board game days. We've done a zombie apocalypse role-playing game. There's so many different options of things you can do. At current, we're trying to work on a play for the Bunkerside, the school festival, which is coming along nicely. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to tell you all about that. Definitely also go along to other clubs if you can. There's always a tea ceremony club. There's all of the sports clubs you can imagine. My school has a rifle shooting team that they do in the hallway. There's like different kind of music clubs, singing clubs, traditional calligraphy or flower arranging clubs, just about everything in there. So if you're brave enough and insistent enough, you can get in on those sort of things and get to know people again. It is also a really nice way, I think, to get the students that you don't usually work with to get to know you. Because most ALTs will find as well, they tend to only work with first year students in high school, not the second and third years, because their stuff is too serious to be playing games with ALTs. So again, you just have to see what your school is like. The last thing as well, of course, is student behaviour. Japanese animes lie. Just FYI, teenagers, for the most part, are pretty universal. So if you remember what you were like at 16, it's pretty similar. Most of your students will be pretty respectful. I've had to hand down a bit of discipline a few times, but it's nothing more than like, "Oi, you work now." And again, that's what your JT is there to help you with. Probably the worst case scenario is like kids not doing their work or kids falling asleep in class. It's rare for an ALT to be posted in a school that is really rough as guts. So don't worry about you being in some kind of like weird gang manga or something like that. It's never going to be that bad. Because at the end of the day, that's the thing. The kids are just average teenagers trying to pass incredibly stressful exams and get through their lives so they can get into universities or get jobs or whatever. So just give them the benefit of the doubt in that sense, and be open with them and show that you're welcoming, because that's the biggest thing. Because they love you on the spot. You're there to make things fun, and they want to have fun with you. And I think that's the most important part. Anyways, my darlings, that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoy yourselves, and I love you all so dearly.